Hello and welcome back to a FIFA 23 team guide, where I'll be running through the FC Andorra squad, letting you know the basics about the team and suggesting some realistic improvements to help you enjoy your FIFA 23 career mode save. I really do think FC Andorra can be one of the most fun and most interesting career mode saves you can do in any league on any FIFA ever. So I really do recommend you give this one a go, and I'm going to be telling you exactly why throughout this video. So anyway, let's get started by having a look at the tactics and some of the members of the squad. With FC Andorra playing a 4-5-1 with a single defensive midfielder, there is two very important areas of this pitch where you need to have a good player. The first is the lone striker, and this isn't the case with Andorra. They're playing Carlos Martinez up front, who is the worst player in their starting 11, so this is definitely an area we will recommend an improvement towards the end of the video. The other important area is the defensive midfielder. This guy needs to be able to break up play and also be a really good passer of the ball. Mark Aguado isn't actually too bad in this situation, but again, he's another player you could possibly get an improvement for. With Andorra liking to play a direct long ball style, you would also expect both of your centre-backs to have good long passing. Well, the guy on the left, Diego Lopez, his passing is pretty dreadful at 48 long passing, and the guy on the right is even worse with Villanova having 46. So again, this is definitely an area you could possibly strengthen if you want to retain the tactics that the initial Andorra squad begin with. So now let's move on to the starting 11, starting with goalkeeper, moving all the way through to striker. Well, to begin with, you start out with Ratti in goal. You might not know too much about this guy because obviously he's a low reputation player that not many people have heard about, but he is only 5'9". The better choice is definitely Raul Lizoan, who is 5 ratings higher as well as being 5 inches taller. So I do recommend you start with Lizoan in goal. You only have 4 centre-backs to choose from, and they're all very similar in ratings. One thing you'll notice about the Andorra squad is how young all of the players are, and this is especially true at centre-back, where the oldest is only 25 and the youngest is only 21. They all have very similar stats, they're all fairly tall, they're all about 6 foot, 6'2", none of them have a particularly huge amount of pace, and none of them have a huge amount of potential either, so it's definitely up to you who you pick at centre-back. Your left backs are similar, they're both 5'8", they're both very young, and they're both in the low 60s. It's probably an area you could strengthen if you were interested in maybe playing a different style, but it's totally up to you how you go here. Your right backs are a lot stronger than your left backs, with Mora and Pexter both being very good players, but both being on loan. So it might be a good idea to start developing Altimira, who could become a very good right back in the future. With you only having 2 defensive midfielders to play in that key role, you're going to have to choose between Molina and Orellana. I think definitely you're going to go with Molina because he has much better stats, he's got really good balance for someone of this ability, and he's also quite good at defending, especially his quite high slide tackle of 75 overall. In front of your defensive midfielder, you'll probably be playing 2 centre mids or 1 centre mid and 1 attacking midfielder. The choices are pretty clear again here. You're going to play Rivarola because he's by far your best midfielder. He's really good at long shots. He has a little bit of pace. He's quite agile as well, but he is 5'10", so you might want a little bit more height in centre midfield. You're going to have to play someone like Aguado or Heval or Bova, who is your captain in front of your defensive midfielder. They're all very similar once again. None of them are particularly fast, none of them are particularly tall or good on the ball. So it's up to you to try and find someone young to play in centre midfield who is key to how you like to play. Maybe a box-to-box midfielder with quite a bit of pace because the team does lack that all around the pitch. On the right, you'll be playing Mustafa Bundu, who has a lot of pace and is one of your only players with above 80 sprint speed. I think he's going to be a very effective player, especially at this level. At 6'2" with 88 sprint speed, he is a bit of an underrated beast. On the other side, you have the Greek loanee from AEK, Albanis. Now this guy doesn't quite have as much pace with only 77 sprint speed, but yet again he is a very tall player, especially for a winger. He's 6 foot tall and he's only 27 years old, so he could definitely be a good long-term signing if you're planning on doing a really long-term Andorra save. And then final position is up front, where you're going to be playing Sinan Bakis because he's basically the only striker in your squad. He has barely any pace, he's 28 years old but has 36 pace, so this is only going to go down. Don't expect him to press too much because he has 24 interceptions. He can't cross with 35 crossing, he can finish pretty well with 69 finishing, but the rest of his stats are absolutely dreadful. He can barely pass, he can barely run, and he's not too good on the ball, so definitely have a look and see if you can bring in a new striker for FC Andorra. And that's basically the entire run through of the squad. What I think you're going to want to do is strengthen at striker. You're probably also going to need a new centre midfielder. You're probably also going to want a new defensive midfielder and also a left and a right back. This would result in you having one of the better teams in the league. So if you do strengthen appropriately, you could easily get promoted in the first season with Andorra. One player I really do recommend you sign is Iker Alvarez at Villarreal. He is the only Andorran footballer on the entire game, and he is a young goalkeeper, something you could really use because Ratty is never going to be tall enough to be a good goalkeeper on FIFA. Hopefully you do give Andorra a go on your FIFA career mode, because I think they would be a super interesting disruptor team if you can manage to get promoted to the top flight of Spain. With only a single Andorran player on the game, you're not going to be able to fill out an entire team, which is a bit unfortunate, but if you are on PC of course, eventually mods will be released where you can scout any country, which will make this save a lot more interesting. Hopefully you give it a go, and do let me know either on Discord or in the comments below how you got on, because it's a super interesting save that I'm interested in doing myself. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you want to see more like this, and then like if you enjoyed anything or learnt anything about Andorra. Thank you all for watching this video. I'll see you very soon for another video. Thank you and goodbye.